how's it going? Today I'm going to be giving you a garden tour of my Zone 6B Pennsylvania garden in October. So I thought it might be interesting for you guys to see, if you're not used to growing a fall garden, what is still growing at this point in time in the season. A lot of times October, November, people are really like not growing anything anymore. And I kind of wanted to just give you guys an idea of what is still growing up here in my garden. So as I mentioned, I am in a 6B zone here in Pennsylvania, and we have pretty cold winters and fairly warm summers. We kind of like have a nice range of seasons. So here we have a distinctive summer, fall, winter, and spring. And we can get away with gardening really until our first average frost date is October 16th. But if you are able to plant things that can take a little bit of frost and still keep growing, then you can grow right past that first average frost date into the season a little further. So that being said, this is the beginning of October. We have not had any frost yet, and so everything is still looking great. I have some things from the summer garden still growing, and I have some things from the fall garden really taking off and starting to get to the point where they're going to be producing soon. So let me give you a little look around and see what everything looks like. Okay, so first I'll give you just a little overview here quickly of what the garden is looking like at this stage. So yeah, that's what it's looking like. It's pretty full in most places except for this bed. This bed I have some more things to put in, and this bed is full, but you can't really tell yet because things are coming up sporadically. So the first thing that we notice here is this gorgeous nasturtium, and it is huge. I'll just give you guys a bit of a size comparison here. This is my hand, that's the leaf. I've actually never had nasturtiums grow this big before. I think I usually get sick of them because they're taking over everything and I end up pulling them. But these guys have been absolutely gorgeous, and so I have left them just do their thing. There's another one on that side over there, an orange one, and I actually have loved them in this space. We have some marigolds here. And all of these things I planted for companion planting. So marigolds and nasturtiums and things like that are really good to help deter certain pests. And so that is why I planted them in the garden beds. But at this point, they're just gorgeous, and that's why they're there. So here we planted some carrots. We planted these in a video a couple weeks ago. There's some dill here. This is all full of carrots, this entire space here. And then over here we have some red lettuce, which we started picking on just a little bit, not much yet. I'd like it to come up a little bit more, but over here you can see some of the leaves are a little bit bigger, and I started to pick a little salad from those the other day. And then this bed is a little less full. We have some marigolds again, and we have a dill plant there. And then this is all just green romaine lettuce. I plant all my lettuce really close together because I end up using mine as just like baby greens. I don't usually let them grow to the full head and harvest them. I always just pick from the bottom of the plant and take leaves from the bottom and let the center continue to grow. And then that way I continue to get a harvest from the same plant. This bed we are going to be covering with a greenhouse hoop system, which I ordered, and I'm super excited about that. I'm not even sure if I'm calling that the right thing, greenhouse hoop system thing. Essentially, it's just a hoop system that you then put plastic over top, and it's supposed to help extend your season a little bit longer, help keep the heat in, things like that, keep the frost off things. And so this bed in particular, I'm going to be sowing some more of my red lettuce, which was in the first bed that I showed you, and some other things in here that I want to try to grow a little longer into the season. That way we can have our own fresh lettuce and things like that for as long as we can. I actually purchased this greenhouse system thing, whatever. I guess it's more of a cold frame than a greenhouse because it's not heated in any way, but whatever. I actually purchased it off of Amazon, so it's going to be like an Amazon review slash cold frame thing, and I don't know. I think it's going to be fun. So if you guys are interested in something like that, keep an eye out for that video because that will be coming up before I know it. I'm going to have to be covering these with something probably in the next few weeks. Okay, so here is my broccoli bed. One thing that I noticed this year is that my broccoli has had a lot more pest issues in the fall, more so than it does in the spring. So of course you always have pest issues, I think, but really at this point in time, the bugs are up and alive and, you know, doing great. And so they're starting to slowly die off as the nights get colder, but the pest population is really quite substantial in the summer and in the fall. And in the springtime, they're just starting to wake up and come alive and come out. And so I feel like the pest issue in the fall is worse than the pest issue in the spring. But nonetheless, we still have beautiful broccoli. I've just been using some BT on it to try to keep up with the caterpillars. And yeah, we don't have any heads yet. It's like if you look down in there, it's like it may be starting to form a head. I don't know, but we have really no obvious broccoli heads starting yet, but that should be fine because broccoli can handle a frost. And then we have some cabbage here. Now this is Savoy cabbage, and it's looking as if it might start to head up a little bit here soon. But this entire bed is full of Savoy cabbage. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, as you can see with this one, I don't know if you guys watched my videos earlier in the spring or not, but if you did, you will notice that this cabbage has way more bug holes in it than my spring cabbage did. And like I said, the pests just seem to be in full force this time of year, so we're just battling them a lot more, again with BT and things. But in the spring and in the fall, I really heavily lean on things like root vegetables, like our carrots, lettuces, brassicas like broccoli, cabbage, and cauliflower, things like that, because those are the types of things that can take a little bit of frost and continue to grow. In this bed over here, I have, what do I have? Beans, green beans. That's right. So in this bed I have green beans, and I have quite a few green beans up here, and I have not been keeping up with them the way that I should, so some of them are getting quite long. But this whole section here is green beans, and to be honest with you, I don't mind if some of them get a little too big because I'm going to save the seed from them. So if some of them get a little too big, it's okay. I will save the seed and plant them next year. But these are a beautiful plant. I'm not sure what kind of bean this is exactly, but see their purple blooms over there and just the like bright green leaves. Absolutely beautiful. They have like this trailing habit. Let me show you from the side. Now this was labeled as a type of bush bean, which at first I was kind of thinking that it was labeled wrong. But now that it's kind of grown to its fullest potential, I can see it is definitely a bush bean, but it has a bit of a weeping habit to it. It's not like a strong, upright bush. So here are some more marigolds, and then these are my peppers. So these are still from summer crop, obviously, and these things are still producing peppers. And I don't know how much longer we're going to have these beautiful guys, but hopefully for a few more weeks at least. I have been harvesting a ton of peppers off of these, and they have been fantastic. I love them. And these are just a regular, like, green bell pepper. I know they look like a jalapeno, but I promise you, they are not jalapenos. They are like a sweet pepper of some kind. I actually picked them up from the grocery store. whenever I needed some peppers, like just regular peppers. And we were using them to cook something, and I tried one fresh and I loved it so much that I decided that I was going to try and save the seed from them. And I did, and I grew these plants from those peppers. And so they are a delicious sweet pepper that they will turn orange, yellow, and red, but I also just eat them green. They're delicious. And in the last bed here we have cauliflower. So this is my first time ever growing cauliflower. Normally I grow broccoli and cabbages and things like that, but this is my first time growing cauliflower. And I expected cauliflower to be a lot like broccoli, which in some cases it is, but to me it just, I don't know. It almost looks sickly to me, and maybe it is, or maybe this is just the look of a cauliflower plant. I don't know. This is a bit of trial and error on these guys, and we'll see how they do. I hope they form some nice big heads of cauliflower for us soon, and do well. Here's one that looks like it might be starting to form something. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe just more leaves. We'll just have to see. This one's a bit of an experiment because I've never grown it before, so I'm not really sure what it's supposed to look like or how long it takes for it to grow. Okay, and then I have to show you this amazing orange appeal vine. This is a Thumbergia, and it has just taken over the top rail here of the fence beautifully. And I love these clear orange centers with like the very distinctive black centers. It has a gorgeous growth habit. I think it's kind of funny because like it really looks like nothing is going on down here. You can barely even see very many vines going up, and then it's just like an explosion at the top. So it's beautiful. Look at all those. Jeez Louise. But I have really enjoyed this plant. This is one plant. And it really just kind of sat here for the longest time when I first planted it. And it finally just took off and became gorgeous. Over here I created these like triangular trellises. And I think I shared them in a Instagram story. I don't think I shared them on here at all yet. But I was actually watching one of the Impatient Gardener, her videos. If you guys have not watched one of her videos, I highly suggest her. She's amazing. She has amazing gardens. But I was watching one of her videos, and she had these beautiful triangular supports, and she had things growing up them. I don't even know what kind of vines she had growing up them, but they were gorgeous, and I decided that I could do the same thing, and I'm absolutely loving them. I think they're really cute, and I have some sweet peas starting to grow on them. Now these are like sugar snap peas, not the kind of sweet peas that are flowers, but the ones that you can eat. And in that Instagram story where I put these up, I had my boys plant these, and they did an amazing job, and they are all coming up, and I started to tie the peas to the trellis so that they will, just to give them a little help to climb up it. But I think they're going to be really pretty. Okay, I think I will take you out here. Here's our gorgeous lanterns that we put up. I actually ended up installing, let's see, 2 more. One here and one there the other day in an Instagram story. And I'm actually going to be getting 2 more to be putting one on this pole and one on this pole over here, just to bring a little more light in the front, because I love them so much. They're so cute. I wanted to just kind of give you guys a backed up look of the garden right now. Many of the things are starting to go away and starting to get cleaned up for the season. So the front garden is looking a lot less full, pretty just empty at the moment. I'll take you up here and show you what we do still have growing. I have my chives here. I just cut them back, probably like 4 days ago, 5 days ago. And look at them. They're already up so high. They probably grew like 3 inches since then. This is chamomile here. And my sage. Here's another nasturtium, much smaller though. This is tarragon, which I'm not sure is going to last our season, but it might. And then some more sage. Down here is a bunch of weeds now that I need to take care of. We did have some squash and things in here, but I dealt with squash bugs so bad this year that everything ended up dying, sadly. So it's just empty now. Swinging around to the other side, I have a lot more herbs. This is thyme. This is a pizza thyme, which I am loving this stuff. Like, I actually haven't cooked with it at all yet, to be honest with you. But it like spreads out in this beautiful, like bright green carpet. It's gorgeous. This purple wonderful plant is oregano. I love the gorgeous balloons that oregano gets. I never grew oregano before, and I did not know it did that, and I love it. It's beautiful. And it smells amazing. Here, this is parsley, and we have some more nasturtiums. Back there is some lavender, which I just cut back, and it doesn't look that great, but it'll flush back nice and fresh. Oh, there's a bumblebee guy. Hi, bumblebee. Hi, buddy. Here's some, what is this? This is a zesty oregano. This is a different type of oregano. I haven't tried this one yet either, so we'll have to see like what the flavor profile difference is. Down here along the bottom, we have a whole bunch of strawberry plants, which are done producing for the year. These are like a one and done variety. So they mostly produce in the spring. I have a whole bunch of basil left. They are dotted throughout this entire bed here. I planted a whole bunch of basil this year. This is rosemary. This is one of my absolute favorite herbs. And I'm hoping that this stuff winters over because I had a variety of rosemary that wintered over for like 4 years. And then last year it just died. So these guys here are cayenne peppers. None of them have started turning green yet though. I've never grown cayenne peppers before, mostly because I never had the desire to, but someone gave me these peppers this year, and my husband is actually a hot sauce fanatic. And so we're like, okay, let's try to make our own. We'll grow our own, and I'm waiting for them to turn red. We'll see if they do. This is echinacea that I have that needs to be deadheaded desperately. Some more basil, which has started to go to seed, but that's okay. And then I had a bank of gorgeous sunflowers here, but they all bloomed out. And then, of course, here was the beautiful zinnia patch. It is all dug out, and I mulched it up and got it all cleaned up for the season. I thought about trying to find some pansies and planting this section up just for some color. We'll see. Here is some more strawberries. And then over here is empty for now. Hi, kitty. Hi. What? How are you? Oh, he's a good kitty. Hi. Hello. And so over here in this section, I'm going to be planting some garlic here soon. And I'm going to be planting garlic in a few other places because I want to grow a lot of garlic this year, and that's not going to be enough space. So yeah, that's where the garden is at in October. Oh, this pot right here is a pot of mint, in case anybody was wondering. So that is what the October garden is looking like right now. Our lows have been in the upper 40s so far. We haven't been getting super cold yet. In a couple of weeks, like I said, is our first average frost date, and so I'm anticipating a shift in the temperatures. I also heard something that the Farmer's Almanac was saying that it was supposed to be a really cold winter and potentially colder faster than normal. Although I don't put a lot of stock in that, I do kind of like file it away as potentially it could happen. I think a lot of people don't really realize how much food you can still really grow in the fall time. And I will say that growing in fall is a bit of a gamble. You are kind of like gambling whether or not your food is going to grow and produce before the frost absolutely takes it, which is where I like to lean on brassicas and things like that, because I know even if it does frost, they can take a decent amount of frost before they're going to die. And so that's where I'm kind of like hedging my bet, hoping that it will be okay until I'm able to harvest those things. But honestly, for me, I think that it's worth it. I think it's worth the risk. Yeah, you might end up losing some things, but you'll probably end up getting a heck of a lot more than if you didn't plant a garden at all in the fall. I know that a lot of times the summer garden kind of drains us and we're just kind of ready to be done. Like, to be 100% honest with you guys, I pulled out my tomatoes probably before they were done because I was just sick of them. I was sick of them. I was done. I was done with tomatoes. I was done making sauce. I was done taking care of them. I was done picking them. I was done with the mess. And you know what? The plants didn't look great. I was just done. And so I can fully understand how the summer can kind of like, you're kind of just ready for a break after the summer garden. And that's where the fall garden is actually quite easy. You get some things planted and you really just let them go. They don't need a lot of maintenance. They don't need a lot of tending on your part. I mean, I threw these broccoli and cabbage and cauliflower plants in here. And aside from spraying them maybe 3 or 4 times since I planted them like 4, 5, 6 weeks ago, I haven't done anything to them. So the fall garden can be a lot less maintenance. And the part of the reason is because things are not growing as fast, because the season is starting to cool down. And these plants are just not demanding plants. They prefer the cooler temperatures and they do well in that, and they don't need much else. So I find that the fall garden, even though I may be a little wore out from the summer garden, I find that the fall garden is really quite simple to just throw in the ground and let it do its thing and produce food for me. So if you've never planted a fall garden before, maybe you did in the past and just kind of got out of it, I would encourage you to try. I really find that it brings me so much peace and so much joy personally. And if it doesn't for you, that's totally fine. But just for me, I do find that it brings me so much joy and so much peace. In a time when I used to just start to hibernate and, get ready for winter, I really found that planting a garden in the fall extends the season so much longer than I'm usually used to. And I get to spend so much more time outside, really when the weather is still quite gorgeous. And so I don't know, it's just been a huge benefit to my life, and I thought that I would share it with you guys. Again, hopefully I will be getting an abundance of food out of this garden still yet to come, and so it's totally worth it to me. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video of seeing where the October garden was. And I hope you guys are doing great, and I hope your gardens are abundant and overflowing with food. We will see you guys in the next video.